Yeah, we're really looking forward to playing there. None of us has played there. It's a great part of Australia. We actually on an off day yesterday went to the beach there just to experience obviously a great place. Yeah, so looking forward to which will be something different. And always when you play T20 International in Australia, there's nice crowds. So we're looking forward to doing that tomorrow.
Will this be your last game? Sorry.
Oh, I was at the beach yesterday.
So have you seen the
No,
pitch at all?
we've seen nothing of the pitch yet.
This be your
I think the T20 World Cup is in Australia, so that's not too far away. So hopefully we'll be back for that, and that will probably be my last international tour, I would think. Then. Yeah. I don't know exactly if that was a big part in that. I think certainly what I found out about myself is I really enjoy the challenge of playing against the Australian team. There's always, sort of very, very competitive game, and I think in general that brings the best out of me as a person. When there's a tough moment in the game, or there's a lot happening off the field, or it's just the hardness of a big challenge. I think as a character that brings the best out of me as a cricketer. So I would have to try and see if I can get better at playing against other teams, because obviously there's something in there for me personally that it brings the best out of me. So yeah, I really love playing against Australia. I think it's just that great battle that and I mean, like I said, it's a hard place to come and travel with. So when you come here, people don't always expect you to come and beat Australia. So that once again brings the best out of me as a captain as well. Yeah, once again that's something that I think brings the best out of me. Even the other day when we played the one day at the last one day, got hit on the finger. Starkey bowled a good ball and felt there was a bit of energy coming from the field, and straight away I felt like that was my moment to almost wake me up, and after that I felt really good. So I think that's something that really gets me going. Well, there is guys like that in international cricket. When you play against, we feel like that when we play against someone like Virat Kohli. He's a similar character. He wants to get into the fight. So, and there's one or two guys in each team around the world that we as a team discuss before playing against them, and we're like, better just not saying too much to him because you get him going. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, he's an amazing player. So I mean, we gave him the silent treatment, and he still scored runs in Australia. But we felt like it was not huge runs. He scored the 100 there in Centurion when the wicket was slow. So every team will have what they think works. For us, it was silent treatment. Yes.
So you haven't been on the field from the Australian team?
No, there's a definite difference. As I said before, like playing the Australian team was probably the hardest team to play against, because they were the fiercest in the way that they would. Obviously, they've always had a lot of pace. So with pace comes, the rest of the guys in the field, can back it up because there's a lot of pace in their team. So that's always been there. But as I said before, that's just something that I've over the years of watching Australians play. That's the way that I just got used to seeing it. So when you do play against them, as different as they were to the rest of the world, that's what you expected. So, every series, the series in South Africa was like that. When we played them, it was, especially that first test in Durban, it was a feisty one. And then comparing that to now, you can see that they're obviously trying to minimise that a little bit more, and let the cricket do the talking. So I think that's where the game's moving in anyway. These days, it's chirping is not as a big part of cricket. Obviously the stump mics, TVs. There's a lot of emphasis from the ICC that it needs to be a gentleman's game. There's a lot of kids watching the game and obviously listening to TV and stuff like that. So chirping, swearing, all those stuff has been really toned down. So I think it's just a general that's happening in the game. But there's obviously, if you compare the two series, yes, there's been a big difference in the way that they talk on the field. I think it's a transition that they're going through at the moment, where they're trying to build up a new culture, and that will, however long that will take. But I always believe that you must never take away your uniqueness is a strength. You know, if your strength is to be in guys' faces, then you must use that. Obviously, there's laws now which we know, which you can't cross that line. But I believe that if you're a personality, I think that's what it comes down to. If you're a personality that requires that to get the best out of yourself and therefore perform the best for the team, then by all means do that within the boundaries that is allowed to. But don't become someone that you're not. It's not authentic. You know, I don't believe when they're not authentic, they're not their best cricketers they can be, and that's what we always speak about in our team.
There was some talk after.
We haven't. We'll discuss a little bit in terms of team selection what we wanted to do. I suppose the thing that was clear in the one day is that there was a little bit of something in it for the bowlers in that first 10 or 15 overs in all three stadiums that we played at. So you certainly felt definitely when he came up top there with a new ball with a bit of swing and a little bit of assistance from the pitch that you could get him off because he goes quite hard at the ball. And in the second game when he got some runs, you could see that he was targeting KG, and we were just discussing that we could see that he was trying to get on top of KG. So even if he goes for a few boundaries, but there's still an opportunity to get him out, because if he's looking to put some pressure on him, then we must just keep trying to get him out. And luckily for us, it worked towards the end of the over. But it was. You can sense when someone is trying to take you on. And I think in T20 cricket it's obviously a little bit less because the game's shorter. You have to go all the time. So that's just a norm. Whereas in one-day cricket, I feel there's, you need to go through the gears a little bit, whether it's first to five, back to third. Because if you keep going, it's 50 overs is a long time. You will create chances.
How was that?
Yeah, that's always been the case, but that's a place that I've always been happy with. Obviously, being good friends with AB, and AB is the genius that he is. For me, sitting in the shadow I was always really content with that, and especially captaincy-wise, I always put most of my energy into captaining. The playing part of things, I believe, will take care of itself, but I've never really focused a lot on my own individual game that much. I love the fact that I can focus on captaincy, because I do believe if I focus on that, obviously you're giving a lot of your time to the team, but in return it's also good for my own game, and I put a lot of energy into that. So that's why it's a really comfortable space for me to be into, because I'm not looking to be in the limelight at all. So yeah, I'm quite used to that.
So is it difficult? How do you approach it?
Yeah, T20s it's a strange one. I mean, I think my personal opinion is I think that obviously the strength of the leagues around the world now has taken a real strength in the game of cricket, and T20 internationals has probably got the opposite as what it's supposed to do. So I think, like the game, I could speak from our perspective, as T20 cricket for us over the last 2 or 3 years has been a case of bringing in young guys, giving an opportunity. So we never really play our strongest 11, and I think that's not great for the international game. So I think if you could almost T20 fixtures become less important, but you still have your world events, almost like in football where it's playing for your clubs and then there's an international tournament. I think, my opinion, that's a good space for T20 cricket to be in, because you shouldn't be trying to compete with the leagues, because they are so strong at the moment. So find a space where you allow both. Obviously, World Cup 50-over cricket is still very important. Test cricket must still remain the main focus, but I think T20 cricket, and I can see the same thing with the other teams, that it's almost never their strongest teams, and obviously fans come to watch the best players play. So I think that's where I see the T20 game moving forward. But obviously T20 World Cup, as you're saying, 2020 is something that I'm really looking forward to. I think right now in my own head that will probably be the last tournament for me, to try and get to that tournament. Yes, obviously some of the guys haven't played in any of the one days, so we will try and see how we can fit in the guys that didn't play, because once again it's big picture. It's not just about the game that's tomorrow. So he's a fantastic T20 cricketer. He's got a lot of X factor, and obviously in a short game that's something that can change a game. So combinations wise, we'll definitely try and see if we can fit in most of the guys who hasn't played. Yeah, I mean as you're saying, they're so excited because we've had a really good tour, and they also just want to get involved and get some game time and try and impress, and even put their name in the mix for our strongest 11 in terms of 50 over cricket, because for us that's really what it's about right now, is trying to just get that team as strong as possible for the World Cup next year.